Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Q&A. I hope you had a great week and welcome back. So millennials are actually our largest buying group right now and will be so for the next 10 to 15 years in terms of purchasing real estate in all over North America, but particularly we're going to talk today about Toronto and the GTA. And so everyone of course talks about how difficult it is for millennials to save to buy a home, and so I thought I would give some probably relatively obvious but important tips. The number one thing is if you have an opportunity to reduce your rent, it's a good idea to do so sooner than later. So because rent is so expensive now in Toronto, I think the average price is about $3,000 for rent. It's become so hard for people to save. And so if there's any opportunity for you to get a roommate or do something like that over the next couple of years where you can bank a fair bit of money, that's probably the first thing that you can do. The second thing is, for those of you that have cars, if you really don't need them, it's a good idea to sell them. And again, we're talking about buying homes here, and some sacrifices obviously need to be made. So if it's something that you want to be doing, you have to kind of look and try to make some sacrifices. So I know in Toronto, a lot of millennials don't actually own cars, but a lot of you do, and we know what a huge expense that is. So again, if your priority is to save some money to buy a home, that's probably one of the first things that you can do. So the other thing that's really important is that you need to understand your RSPs and how that they can contribute into your down payment. So that's a question for your bank, and really think about, if you've been contributing to RSPs, how that can help, because getting a down payment, of course, for most people is the most difficult thing that you have to do at this point. The next thing, of course, is start paying off your debts. You're probably not going to get a mortgage. I touched on this a couple weeks ago, but when you're looking at getting a mortgage, one of the first things they do is analyze how much money you already owe. So try to pay off debts as soon as you can, in the same time you're trying to save, which is really number 5, which is all about you really have to adapt or change your lifestyle and pay yourself first. So I think you've probably heard that before. But if you really take a tally of all the money that you're spending on things like coffee, going out, buying clothes, all that kind of stuff, if you really analyze your budget and think, I'm going to now take all of that lunch and coffee money for the next year and put it into an account, or do something like take 20% of every paycheck and put it into account right off the bat so that it's gone, then you're paying yourself first. And so everything else that you've got left over, you can really budget. Because one of the things I hear all the time is by millennials telling me that they can't afford it, but meanwhile they shop a lot, they own things they probably shouldn't own, and so of course they don't have any money left over. So really taking a hard look at your finances is the last thing. So here's some tips for you. Like I said, millennials, if you are thinking about buying a home this year, hopefully these are some things that might help you save some money. I'm here if you have any questions, of course, and feel free to like and or share with anyone you think might be interested, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.